Dallas sent it down to Natasha Staniszewski and Ryan Dittrick for tonight's Flames TV post-game show, presented by Original 16.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Flames TV live post-game show brought to you by Original 16, and we are jumping right into our first guest. As you can see him sitting there at the end, Rasmus Andersson. Let's start with that first period. Sometimes teams, after a long road trip like that, it can take a while to find your legs, but you guys came out with a ton of jump. Just a thought on the win and how you started.
Yeah, as you said, these are almost the hardest games of the season when you come back from a long trip, and but, I thought we got off to a pretty good start. I mean, 0-0 after first, and thought we played a real patient game today. And when we needed to, Wolfie made some really good saves, and just an overall really good team effort win.
We heard Ryan Huska before the game, and he was just talking about how, from a player's standpoint, he wanted you guys to approach this one like a road game. So I'm curious, from a player's perspective, what goes into that for you in terms of you're properly prepared for this one? Yeah,
I mean, it is, as you say, it's you almost have to treat it like a road game because it is such a tricky game, and you try to stick to your routines, what you know, and maybe try to get your body going a little bit more in one of these nights, and but as I said, I thought overall the team did a hell of a job, and we win 1-0, and we didn't need more, and as I said, Wolfie made some good stops when we had to.
Can you actually say a little bit more about Wolfie and Dan Vladar, because both guys on the road trip as well have played really well for you guys, giving you a chance really every single night?
Yeah, they've been awesome. They've been really great all season long, and goals is it's kind of hard to come by here at times, and but our goalies have played unbelievable, and we're a really structured team, and when we play to our structure, we don't give up much, and but when we do, they've been there to save us, and they've been awesome lately, and as I said, not just lately, the whole season.
Yeah, like you touched on it there, the structure. Obviously, that's the calling card. You're a hardworking team. That's kind of true to your identity. And through the first half of this one, you guys didn't really give up a whole lot, too. And I'm assuming you expected the push to come at some point, especially in that third period.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we expected the push, and the toughest defense is always shot and the rebounds, because you don't know where the rebound is going, and you got to react. And they put more pucks towards the net in the third period, and but I thought we stuck with it, and overall, just a massive win for us.
Okay, Russ. Thanks for being here early. Thanks for showing up. We'll let you go. Enjoy the win.
Go unpack if you haven't already. Have you unpacked?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, I did yesterday.
Did you? Oh, I didn't.
You haven't unpacked?
No.
I don't blame you. After being gone that long, I would imagine you would just need like 48 hours to do nothing.
Two-game trip, it still takes me weeks to unpack.
Yeah,
so
I hear you.
That's where I'm at.
Which is why I feel like this win is so impressive for the team. Like I said off the top, you don't really know what you're going to see from a team when they're back after a road trip, but I was really impressed with the effort the Flames showed, especially in that first period.
Yeah, it was great. And Rasmus touched on it. The offense isn't coming super easy nowadays, which is fair to say. But, in a period like that, it actually, for me, resembled a lot of that first game coming out of the Four Nations break, where the work ethic's there, the puck play was a little bit sloppy, but that was true on both sides. But, this was a period that was dominated by the Flames. At one point, the shots were 8-2. Scoring chances were 9-1 at one point in the second period. So, as much as this is a 0-0 game, it felt like it could have gone either way at some point. It was the onus on the home team to go out and grab the lead. And obviously, they were able to do that. Joel Farabee, who's been coming along super well lately. So you get enough offense. And like you said, Dustin Wolf, he was incredible tonight, so as he has been. And Dustin Wolf, along with Dan Vladar, over the course of that road trip, have really set this team up well for success. So you have to think that if the offense comes and guys like Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost continue to find their footing, maybe they're in for a good stretch here, and the playoffs become more of a reality as we get down the stretch.
They're hanging in there. 26 saves for Wolf tonight, his first shutout since December 14th when he shut out the Florida Panthers. But you were talking about that goal, just one goal tonight. Let's show it to you in case you missed it. Yes, plural. The highlight. The one goal we have for you, Joel Farabee, who, as you mentioned, scored just a spectacular goal in the last game against Dallas. Here he is getting this one, just snapping it past Jakob Dobis, who played very well tonight. He made a number of really good saves too.
Yeah, he did. But you know what? This is Joel Farabee, and you can see a lot of the confidence. But for me, this is where the play starts. A clean zone entry, but a nice little delay to back that Habs defense up. Great pass down low to Michael Backlund, but then he does what a shooter does. You find the open areas, and sure, a little bit soft on Montreal's side in terms of defense there, but you have to recognize where the openings are. And Joel Farabee, known as a goal scorer, did this at the junior level and, you know, in his short tenure with the Philadelphia Flyers before coming here. Obviously a central piece of the trade that brought him here. We saw the goal in Dallas. That's a confidence play. To me, that's a confidence play too, and we're starting to see this player really start to find himself. Because you have to imagine over the course of the last few weeks, that trade, the whirlwind to get here, then you're on the road with the team, you're throwing your life into a suitcase, and you know he's done a pretty good job acclimating, but when you start to find a little bit of success on the ice too, you have to think that just makes your whole life a little bit easier, and it helps the Flames win some games too.
I was talking to Michael Backlund during the intermission, and he said he kind of smiled that he got to know Joel a little bit better on the road trip. So maybe that road trip was a good thing in terms of team chemistry and, you know, the new guys fitting in. Enough talking from us about Joel, though. Let's go to the dressing room and hear from Joel Farabee.
Talked about how the chemistry keeps coming with that line, and I guess you felt that same way tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think, you know, playing with two veteran guys, it's easy for me because they're really responsible and they play the right way. So, in my mind, I kind of know where they're always going to be, and I think what makes us a good line is we don't you know, cheat for offense or anything like that. We play the right way, and we know if we play that right way, we're going to get our chances. So, it's a real honor to play with these two guys.
People in this city have been saying for a long time, put whoever with those two guys in it, it's going to go well. I'm wondering, what, now that you're playing with them, what makes them so easy to play with?
Yeah, kind of like I just said, they're older. They've been in this league for a long time, and they're really smart. Obviously, Bax is really good on faceoffs and just being really smart. And Coles has played a lot of meaningful games in his career. Obviously, winning a cup, so he knows exactly how to play. And you know, I think we just play simple hockey. I think, you know, we know that we got to defend first, and if we do that, we're going to get our chances grinding the other team. So it's a real treat playing with them.
Is that eyes away move from Coleman one of those sort of veteran savvy, like the way he flies by, give you the screen there?
100%, and I think that's something that, you know, it won't show up on the score sheet or anything like that, but I probably don't score if he doesn't do that. So he's a real smart player. He knows exactly, you know, where to be, and you know, to have the mindset that to flash screen there is only really smart guys are able to do that. So real credit to him.
How important was it for you to get that practice time in after the break when you got here? It was so kind of hectic.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think when you just jump right into a new team and games, I felt like my first, you know, however many games, I was kind of just looking around like, am I in the right spot, and things like that. Whereas now, you get those practices, you work on the systems a bit. It's just playing hockey at that point. So, yeah, I think that was a real help after the break.
What's it like handling the defensive responsibility playing with those guys and being out there in a 1-0 game at the end?
Yeah, it's a real treat. Honestly, I started my career in Philly, you know, as a guy that would kind of go out there in the last minute, and then when Torts came in, that was no longer. So it's really nice to be trusted and to be out there, and you know, playing with Coles and Backs, they make it real easy. They're in the right spots. The amount of pucks they just touch or, you know, flag out is really impressive. So they make it pretty easy.
Sorry, go ahead.
This group's been very good all season. It's long before you're protecting third period leads. With the way Thursday went, how important did it feel for you guys to just hold on there and, you know, lock it down?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels good. Obviously, this time of the year, you gotta be able to win those games, and you know, having Wolfie play the way he did tonight was incredible. He didn't give up anything. Honestly, you know, I felt like we defended pretty well in front of him, but the few chances they got, he was right on it. So, real credit to him too.
Joel, how different is a 1-0 game to play compared to other games that are maybe more loose? How different is the style of playing tonight?
Yeah, I played college hockey, so pretty used to a 1-0 game on a weekend. But no, it's good. I mean, I think it's that playoff atmosphere. You know, the crowd was into it, and these games are fun. You have to embrace those type of games. So, real credit to the team tonight.
You kind of touched on Dustin Wolf. Obviously, you haven't been here too long, but just kind of your thoughts overall of what you've seen from him in the short time you've been here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I played you know, World Junior Summer Camp with him, and you know, from where he is now, from when I saw him however many years ago that was, it's exponentially. You know, he's so good, he's so quick, and you know, he's obviously a smaller guy, but he doesn't really give up much. And you know, something that really impresses me too is when guys rim the puck on the glass and he knocks them down and helps our D. You know, that's something that doesn't really get talked about, but he's so good at it. So it makes a you know, life in the D zone a lot easier when he's doing that.
Okay, Joel. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Joel.
All right, there's Joel Farabee, the lone goal scorer tonight, and we have to show this goal again because it was so beautiful against Dallas just a couple nights ago.
Absolutely disgusting, and
yeah.
You know what? This is what he's known for, and you're not gonna be dancing around defensemen one-on-one like that every night. But I mean, that just kind of gives you a glimpse into the skill here, and same with that shot, like we talked about off the top, for him to find that soft space in the ice, and you know. Great screen, by the way, with Blake Coleman, as Joel Farabee alluded to there. Really well spoken, but this is a goal scorer, and for a team that's starved of offense, this is a guy who's really starting to find his footing here. And you know, just a little quick note about that road trip too. You know, the fascinating thing about a 6-game trip and getting to see how they interact with their teammates. You really get a sense that this guy's a Calgary Flame already. I wouldn't say he's a big personality, but he's the kind of the life of the party, and you know. Really is bonded well with his teammates, kind of likes to crack jokes in and around the room, talks a ton, which you'll see because we had him mic'd up in his return to Philadelphia, so stay tuned to episode 8 of The Chase for that one. But, you know, a guy who doesn't wear a letter but also is becoming a bit of a leader on that bench, which is really fascinating to see. So life's turned upside down. You're shipped halfway across, well, almost entirely across the country in an NHL deal, and you're already finding success, which is good to see, both on the ice and in that room too, because it's easy for guys like him to make friends, and he's doing a lot of that right now.
Well, I always remember when they traded for him, Ryan Huska said he thought that he was untapped, and there was a lot for him still to give. So maybe we're seeing just the tip of the iceberg here now with Joel. He mentioned Blake Coleman providing that screen on his goal. Let's go to Coleman right now, who had, I believe, 3 shots tonight.
Like that chemistry you've built with Michael and Joel, it seems to be growing every game. Can you just talk about maybe Joel's goal and your role in creating that, winning that battle, and then the flat ice screen?
Yeah, I think we've gotten better as we've gone. I think, you know, the more we play with each other, we'll get more and more comfortable. But you know, he seems to fit right into the way me and Bax, you know, have played for a long time now, and he's a really strong competitor on pucks, and you know, we're starting to see the offense come through now as well. But you know, he's been a great addition and makes our jobs easier.
I know when you were celebrating that goal, he pointed right to you like he knew how crucial that screen was. What is the key to sort of, I guess, closing the window there?
Well, it's just, you know, you could tell their goalie was feeling good, and I didn't, you know, it's one of those games where, you know, you got to find ways to take away their eyes, and whether it's point shots or little flash screens like that, and you know, we talk about it a lot. You know, it's just ways to help guys out that are shooting the puck, and you know, we were able to time it pretty well, and it was, you know, ultimately it was just a great shot. He beat him clean.
Like, everybody in this city has an opinion on, you know, the fact that nothing was done on trade deadline day. What's the message, or what's the feeling in the room in terms of seeing that nothing got done?
Well, for us, I think, you know, watching everything that went down, you know, in my opinion, you got to tip your hat to Connie and management, because we added 2 really great pieces, and the prices, in my opinion, were not what they have become or had become at deadline time. So I think we were really happy with them going out and making that move, and it actually gave us a little time to find the chemistry that we were just talking about. And you know, you're still never sure, and you always, you know, have your finger on the pulse on that day. But you know, they've shown a lot of faith in us, and you know, we feel like it's on us players to return the favor and you know, give our fans a lot to cheer for down the stretch here, and find a way to make these playoffs.
I know you guys will take a little bit of time to digest this one, but how big is that next game on the calendar, being Vancouver?
Yeah, well, I think right now we're just happy we got 3 days. It was it's been a pretty grueling trip, and you know, in our opinion, this was a bit of a trap game, and you know, coming off that trip, these games are hard. We hadn't been to the rink until game time, so really happy with, you know, the battle that everyone put out there, the shot blocks, obviously Wolfie was phenomenal again, and that's the kind of win we were expecting to need tonight. It was a low scoring, just grind it out, and we did so. And you know, so now we'll take time to rest, and you know, no excuses when Van comes to town.
Blake, you did 600 games on the road. What did it mean for the crowd to acknowledge that for you?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I don't know if that's always acknowledged anywhere, but for me and my family, it was a special milestone, and and it's always really appreciated when your organization shows love for you like that, and the fans too. It's I definitely felt it, so it was fun to have that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Blake. Welcome home.
All right, so some more comments about Dustin Wolf, who obviously played excellent again tonight. And I can imagine how great the team feels playing in front of their goaltender when he's playing that well, and Vladar as well, like we said on the road trip. And it's great to have these two options heading down the stretch here when you need every single point.
Oh, boy. And, we sort of alluded to it over the past few weeks about Dustin Wolf's Calder Trophy candidacy. But I think it's time that we start banging that drum a little bit louder. I mean, the numbers he's putting up this year are incredible. And, again, we talked about it, a little bit of a lighter workload in that first period, but it got heavy as the game went along.
Yes.
22 shots in the final 2 periods. And there was a lot of this, right? Sure, Montreal made a few plays like this off the rush that sort of got in behind the defense a little bit, but that third period especially, a lot of point shots, a lot of shots through traffic from the walls, sending bodies there. So there's a lot of chaos in the paint that he had to contend with, and that's Dustin Wolf. His ability to fight through traffic and find the puck despite, all odds. Right there is a perfect example. He's got to see around 2 bodies, including Braden Bahal, but he's quick on his feet, slides over, makes a terrific save. Another example here. This is exactly what Dustin Wolf has done so well all season. Fighting through traffic, quick on his feet, down, up, making sure he's always in position to make the save, because his positioning, even though he does show off this athleticism so often, is elite. So Rookie of the Year, in my mind, he absolutely needs to be at the top of those charts. And if this Flames team does make the playoffs, then it's kind of a no-brainer at that point,
right.
isn't it?
You're
so
right.
Maybe the answer will be made for the voters as we get down the stretch here.
We need to start shouting it from the top of the Rocky Mountains.
We're doing it right now,
right.
so let's keep
we're going to start it right here, right now. Let's hear from the goaltender now, who made 26 saves tonight.
Is this getting old? These shutouts?
Never. Do this every night if I could.
I assume you were feeling pretty good today.
Yeah, I felt good. I mean, we've had a long trip. It's been a lot of different beds, fatiguing, but good to come back into our home building and just find a way.
Is it odd, basically not skating for 2 days and having to come out just before the game?
Sure. I mean, there was a possibility I might have skated this morning, but decided to choose sleep. But no, I mean, you never forget how to play hockey, but when you get to come out and win a game 1-0, that's pretty fun.
There's a lot that's been made about what being in this playoff push can mean for young guys for their development. But beyond that, how much fun are you having right now, just knowing that every game you got to be at your best because every point counts?
Sure, yeah, every game matters, and there's a lot of scoreboard watching from everyone in the room, and you're hoping for results on outside of your control, and you're trying to do everything you can to get 2 points every night. And we got a lot of tough opponents coming up. I know the next one's really, really important, so get a couple of days rest here and get back to work.
Is 1-0 the ultimate goalie game, or would you still prefer about 7-0?
I mean, it'd be easier to play and maybe a couple more goals in the other net, but no, I mean those are fun games to play, and you can't loosen up, and those are the games you dream of playing. It's 1-0, 2-1. Those are the ones that matter the most, and it doesn't really matter how they come right now, as long as we find a way to get 2 points.
You were just kind of talking about this, though. Those 1-0 and 2-1 games are probably going to be a little more prevalent down the stretch, aren't they?
Sure. I mean, this is playoff hockey now, and you're probably not going to see too many 5-4 games. At least you hope not. So if we can win games 2-1 every night, I'm more than pleased.
Dustin, you were in a few of these playoff runs in the American League. Is your approach the same now that you're in one in the NHL, or has it differed, you found?
No, it's all the same. I mean, it's still hockey, and games just mean a little bit more than they did at the start of the year, and that's the best part of it, is you want to come into the last month and a half playing meaningful games, and that's what we're doing right now, and everybody's really excited to keep proving people wrong, and we get in, you never know what can happen.
You mentioned the Vancouver game, and you guys deserve a break. I'm not saying otherwise, but are you already feeling pretty hyped up for that one?
Sure. I mean, that's a 4-point swing, and those are the ones that we need to find a way to get.
I just want to ask you about Cole Caulfield, the guy that you have some familiar with from the World Juniors. He came in red hot, had lots of looks tonight. What did you see out of him? What makes him so tough to stop, but stop him?
Yeah, he's got an unreal shot. I mean, he shoots everything, and anytime it's on his stick, I'm waiting for him to release it. And I'm very fortunate to have seen a pre-scout from him for a couple of years, and you know what, it's fun when you stop him and he comes over and we're chuckling. And I think he got one the very first game I played against him up here, and now to shut him down for two is pretty fun.
I think you two had an exchange in the third period there where you tapped him. What was that exchange like?
No, I mean, it's a tight game. He's trying to score, and I'm trying to make sure he doesn't. And no, that's good, friendly battles out there, and I'm glad we were able to shut him down.
Thanks,
Yep.
sir.
Congrats.
Cheers to another season of great times and great taste. Celebrate things done well. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be legal drinking age.
All right, so a pretty important win here for the Calgary Flames tonight as they defeat the Montreal Canadiens 1-0, their first game back after a grueling road trip. So a nice effort by the team. And I think a few of the players mentioned it, these 1-0 games now. This is going to start to become more common as we head down the stretch. Less goals, probably less run and gun hockey. So goaltending, defense, I mean, your mistakes are magnified at this time of year, right? So the Flames are getting ready to dig in.
They absolutely are, and there was definitely a shift in mentality around that dressing room during the road trip too, where Ryan Huska's message was switching from, whatever it was previously to playoff mode, and that's what we're going to see a lot of. There's a different level of intensity that he wants to see from his players, and you know what? Not to dive too into the weeds here, but that is what we saw on that road trip. Certainly, the results weren't perfect to go 2-2-2, but you can always count on this team to bring the work boots, and we're going to continue to see that down the stretch because that's what's going to make them a playoff contender, and if and when they get there, hopefully a tough out as well.
Let's hear from the head coach, Ryan Huska.
Coach, Joel Hanley, I believe, led the team in minutes tonight. This is a guy who didn't play much those first couple months of the year. I know we've talked about it, but what's he done to establish that press to play such huge minutes?
He's very much a competitor. Every time he's on the ice, he keeps his game very simple, and he makes a great partner. So what he lacks in size, I think he makes up with smarts and probably a lot of heart.
We've heard from a lot of coaches, a lot of players, that the first game back after a long trip is going to be a trap game. What allowed your group to be successful and get the right result tonight?
I think we talked about it before the game. They treated it like a road game, I think, with a lot of their preparation. Because really we haven't had a chance to skate back at home yet, and we were gone for almost 2 weeks, so the altitude would have hit us too coming back today, as silly as that sounds. But I think our older players did a really good job of making sure they were prepared to play, and I think because everybody else saw how they came to the rink tonight, they kind of followed suit. Yeah.
What do you see out of Dustin and his composure and his ability to be up only one goal but yet look like it's a 10-goal?
Yeah, I said to Barbs after the game, it's weird to me. Like rebounds don't come off him, and he fights through traffic. He's got a way of understanding where the shot's coming from and likely where it's going to end up. But he is a cool cucumber in there. There's no doubt about it. And I think Jason said it's easier for him to control his rebounds because he's a little shorter in size. He doesn't have to move all that much. But for me, he has an idea where that shot's coming from. He has an idea where it's likely going to go, and he's very good at controlling his rebounds.
From September to now, what's impressed you the most in the growth of his game?
I feel like it's been the same since September. Wouldn't you say that? I feel like I sit up here and I talk about his play pretty consistently. There's been a few games that, the St. Louis game, if you remember that one, where two got by him that he would tell you he didn't like. There's not too many other games or goals that you can say, yeah, Wolf, he probably should have had that one. I mean, he's been consistent for us all year, and when I talk about him, I always talk about Danny too, because I don't think you can have Wolfie playing well without the support and without Danny going in and playing the way he has for us as well. So we have a great tandem. We're very lucky.
I think when maybe you or Nazem, someone said that after that St. Louis game, he took the blame on himself in the locker room, and I think in other words, he's accountable. How have you seen that, and for a rookie, what does that mean when he's doing that?
Hey, he's the first guy that will go by the bench and basically say no more going in on nights like that. I mean, that's just probably who he is. He's always been that way, I would assume.
Joel Farabee shows some good patience waiting at the line on that give and go with Macklin. Just see, what did you like about that line played and maybe on that goal in particular?
He's, well, with the line first, they had the heavy minutes playing against the Suzuki line, and that's one of the better lines that you will see. They play an up-tempo game. They have a lot of skill where they can hurt you in a lot of different ways. So they had a heavy matchup. But I think with Joel, the first few games, I think he was like, where do I fit in? Like, first time he's ever been traded. I think there's a bit of a period where he has to adjust to his new surroundings, new coaches, new teammates, all that stuff. And I feel like this is the fourth game in a row where he's been a player that we've talked about after the game because of the way he's played. So you're starting to see the hard, and everybody told us he's like Blake Coleman kind of thing. You're starting to see the hard that Blake plays with. Now in the last 4 games, you're starting to see the puck follow him around. So super excited with the way he's trending. He's going to be a really important player for us down the stretch.
He talked about how when he was in Philly, when he got there, he was out there in the final minute kind of finishing games off, but that went away. Now he's doing it again. What are you seeing that kind of allows him to do that?
The compete side of it for me, over the last number of games, he's been hard on the puck. He's making the simple play. He's not really trying to overcomplicate it and make something out of nothing, if that makes sense. He's just done the job, willing to block shots. He's in lanes. I think he has a good head on his shoulders, understands the game really well.
I don't have this number perfect, but I believe this team is 21-3 when you're leading after the second period. Is that a point of pride, and what's gone into your success in protecting leads there?
Goaltending is one thing for sure. Like, I thought we took on some pressure, or they had some good pressure on us in the third period. We got saves. That's one thing, and it allows us to, stay with it until we're able to either score an empty net or close a game off.
Since we haven't seen you since the trade deadline, your reaction to the fact that it was quiet around here yesterday?
Yeah, well, leading up to it, it was noticeably different for me, and it was a much better environment for us as a staff, and for sure the sense that we got from the room, because the guys weren't expecting anything to happen. And then maybe the next way that I would answer it is I really like our team. I like what they've done over the course of the year, and I'm happy that Connie kind of saw the same thing, Connie and his management team. So he's going to give them an opportunity to kind of finish what they started, and I really like that.
Blake Coleman specifically said that the Frost and Farabee trade happening when it did was great because they've already been able to start building chemistry. You see it that way as well?
Sure. Well, I mean, you can go back to Joel. Like we talked about his first, 7 or 8 games. You're probably like, what is Joel? We don't really know what he is as a player. Now you do. And again, because he doesn't have to go through that period where this is all new for him. So, no, it's nice to have them in the fold for the last little while.
All good?
Okay, thank you.
Day off tomorrow, 10:30 on Monday.
Okay, we keep talking about the playoff push. Let's show you exactly what we mean and exactly where everyone is at the moment. There is Calgary. So with the 2 points tonight, they get 70 and they move into that final wild card position ahead of Vancouver, making Tuesday's game ginormous, if you would.
Yeah, break out the thesaurus for ginormous and pick any word.
Yep.
It's going to be a big one. Isn't this is awesome, though. 19
Oh,
games
my
left.
goodness.
Dustin Wolf just said it. He said he dreams of those 1-0, 2-1 games because those are the ones that matter. And I mean, from an outside perspective, I mean, we get to see it, how much fun the players are having with this, as they should, and the fans should as well, because this is a great time of year. You're in the mix. Every game's going to be like what we saw tonight. Maybe not as tight. You hope eventually some of the offense comes a little bit easier. But when you stack up against the Vancouver Canucks on Wednesday, which is the next game, it's going to be pretty entertaining. And just lastly, Natasha, I was curious about what the team's response would be to the trade deadline. You heard Ryan Husk answer a question about that. It's fascinating to me that there just seems to be a sense of pride coming from the head coach and from Craig Conroy yesterday about what this team has accomplished over the course of this season, because nobody expected the Calgary Flames to be in this position in March. Here they are in a playoff spot on March 8th. They're right in there, and they should be happy with what they've accomplished. The job's not done, but there is a sense of pride of what they've done so far, and with that group in the room, they do have something a little bit special.
I think that is a great place to end it. Yes, the Flames are feeling good right now, and they will try to keep that rolling for the rest of the week. Thanks for joining us here on the live post-game show brought to you by Original 16. We will be back here Tuesday night for that huge game against the Vancouver Canucks. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.